Hey guys, it's Small here with What If Alex Mercer replaced Saitama? Now if you don't know who Alex Mercer is, let me explain. He is a scientist who created a virus that originally was supposed to kill hundreds, but actually gave him the power to absorb things and gain the abilities, and forms, and memories, and also turn people into monsters and zombies. I'm not going to be adding that part where he turns people into zombies and stuff. But he can also advance the powers. He also has advanced strength, speed, durability, and regeneration. He can also create new powers depending on what he's absorbed in the past. But it's not important. Okay, let's start the what if already. So we start off with Alex Mercer studying a bio, but he drops some sort of black liquid into the blue pile. Liquid turns red. So then Alex says, "Wait, did I just do it?" But as he takes some of the bio to a dead mouse, he had killed and put in a container. He drops the lid on it. As he does, this red begins to heal and come back to life. Before Alex can react, it starts to get bigger and starts to mutate. As it mutates, the rodent's eyes turn red. It breaks out. It gets bigger. As it stops growing, it's now bigger than a human. Then when Alex says, "Uh-oh," the thing looks at Alex, says, "I gotta get out of here." As he tries to run, he knocks over another set of bios, and that activates the security system. That's when the speaker goes off and says, "Lockdown has been activated." But as the rodent smacks him to the side and knocks him over a table, or onto a table, he tries to get up. Then he sees a set of chemicals he's knocked over again are starting to mix and steam. That's when he says, "Uh-oh," and shit. But before he responds, there's an explosion and blows up the entire building, the entire top half. 2 days later, the building's remains, or something like that, are being searched. But the morticians start putting Alex Mercer's body in a bag, and they soon walk away to lunch. But at that moment, Alex's back begins to move. He comes out of it. As he walks around, he tries to figure out what is happening to him, but he soon walks off. But as he walks, he sees some clothes, and he realizes he's wearing a lab coat. But as he's walking, he sees another set of clothes, and a white shirt with a collar, a pair of jeans, and a leather jacket in a window. And the leather jacket has some sort of hood. At that moment, his body turns red, and inside his body's, damn it, I can't speak. That his body is made of muscle mass, cause his body changes to match his clothes. That's when Alex says, "What the hell am I?" As he walks around, questioning what is going on, he comes into some sort of crab monster. As he looks at it, he's conflicted. He thinks to himself, "The thing's missing, but why do I think it was missing?" But the monster looks at him. He says, "Why aren't you running?" So then Alex says, "I don't know. To be honest, I don't know much of anything." So when the monster says, "His name is Crab Latte, and he turned into a crab because he ate so much crab that he should be running." But Alex says, "I don't fear you, Simpson. I don't know why." Monster then says that there's something wrong with his eyes. They're not lifeless like his, but not important. He's to go kill some brats. As Alex starts walking away, confused, he sees a kid with a butt-looking chin. So, that him? So he says, "Hey kid, are you the idiot that messed with a giant crab?" And the brat says, "Yeah, he drew nipples on him since he was sleeping." Like he responds, "You're an idiot." And he's going to end up dead. He starts walking away. Depressing. "Whatever, old man." Alex starts walking, thinks to himself, maybe he can help the kid, but he needs to figure out who he is first. For some reason, he feels like he should capture that crab and study it or kill it. But then he hears a large step and turns around and sees the crab about to strike. Before it does, Alex for some reason jumps and grabs the kid and is like 20 feet away. That's when I realize something. He then says that he can jump far. Damn. Then tells the kid to run. The kid says he left his ball. He says, "What are you, a moron?" But the crab monster swings. He dodges with a super jump. And it's like that this is going to be amazing. And suck it, crab monster. Crabland says, "His name is not Crab Monster." Then swings, but Alex jumps again. This time he stuck to a wall. He says, "I can stick to walls?" Then he looks and realizes he just made a hole. He says, never mind, I can just grab onto walls. Then jumps down, hits the kid down. He then says, stay back, I do it this week. And he charges and jumps. Crab says, try again, and smacks him to a wall. But he lands in a pile of trash. But as he looks at the monster, he says, that barely hurt. The monster says, how are you still standing? But as he charges, Crab knocks him to the side again. As he tries to stand up, kicks hit it over and over. Crab beating him over and over, saying, what do you have such thick skin? But he starts by making a mark on Alex's skin, making him bleed. He leaves. But then Alex gets up and says, this is fun. He starts healing. Then Nicholas asks, what are you? He says, he has no idea. He then charges at Grablanta and jumps onto him and says he's going to enjoy killing him. He then grabs his eye, but since he has super strength, he instead just squishes the eye like it's nothing and falls off. Then Nicholas says, I'm gonna rip off every limb. As Alex looks at his hand, sees the hand remains. Or the eye remains, I can't speak. And starts to sink into his hand. I started getting memories of eating way too much crab. He says, saw your memories. I don't know what else I got. He then looks at his hand as it turns into a claw. Then says, this is cool. And he's gonna end him. Then charges a crab and cuts off his leg, which makes Alex scream in pain. He also says, it seems like he's stronger. But he tries to get up. He gets his other hand cut off. That's when Alex stomps on Crablanta's chest. But as he stomps on his foot, he starts getting sucked into Crablanta. And he asks, what are you? And he says, I told you, I don't know. Then he pushes his foot all the way into his chest and starts absorbing it. And as he finishes, he sees the kid horrified. And Alex says, what's wrong? The kid says, what are you? And Alex says, I have no idea. But he's gonna figure it out. And he starts walking away. But now we have a 3-year time skip. And just so people like King is this, they see that Alex sometimes just kills monsters else over them. He only took a part of them, or he didn't think they'd be useful. Or people just think that King is so strong that he has nothing left of his victims from a punch. After Camilla fights Alex, he decides to go to City Z because he heard that there's many monsters there. And while he lives there, he kills hundreds of monsters, or so many monsters. He learns about a company called the Cure Session. He puts 1 and 2 together, figures out that he's the reason it was founded. But he doesn't join because he knows they are going to try and kill him, since he's not human. After living in the city for a bit, he's gotten pretty strong and found a nice abandoned apartment. While watching TV, he hears an explosion. With super sight and super hearing, he sees some sort of monster. So he decides when to kill it. And he starts walking there. We can kind of see it's some sort of purple pillar. As he turns on TV, damn it, lost my wording phrasing. I literally skipped the sentence. Sorry guys, I'm not feeling good. Like I was saying, but thanks to his super hearing and stuff, you can kind of see it. It's kind of like a purple blur. But as he turns on the TV, he's watching. He sees a news reporter saying that monsters destroyed the city, and he just smiles and says, this is what new power I can get. But as he walks out, he goes a pair of wings and takes off. As he's flying, he sees a monster about to kill a girl, and he stoops down and grabs a girl before landing. As he's standing there, holding the girl by her collar, he asks, what type of jerk kills a defenseless little girl? As the monster says, who the hell are you? Then Alex drops the girl and says, he's just a monster who's a hero for fun. Or for fun. Just like killing. So the monster says, what type of origin story is that? He is Vaccine Man. He has made pollution caused to the earth by humans, but not the mother earth has given birth to him. He will wipe out all life because he is Vaccine Man. Before he finishes, he loses his arm. That's when he sees Alex's hand turn into a blade. As he's getting pissed, he sees Alex absorb his hand. That's when Vaccine Man says, what can you do? How'd you do that? He says, I told you already. He then transforms his hand. It looks like Vaccine Man's hand. Then punches Vaccine Man, saying, I'm a monster. But he kills him. He looks at his hand and thinks to himself, it's kind of getting boring, before transforming it back. But as he's walking home, he senses rumbling. So when he sees a giant, he sees him smile. So he goes wings again and starts flying. But as he gets close to it, he hears people start talking. Hears, this is incredible. Brother, My new story, Bicep King. You'll be the strongest man. If your muscles and my brain, we will rule this world. Then he hears, so you're the smartest and strongest people, huh? As soon as he sees Alex Mercer, seems kind of like says, who are you? Are you a monster? He says he has no idea. Then he says, wait, I've seen you before. Which makes Alex ask, where then? Because he'd really like to know. The guy says, doesn't matter, kill him. He then tells his brother that there's somebody on his shoulder. But as his brother smacks his shoulder, he hears laughing. That's when the giant looks up to his side and sees Alex laughing. That's when the giant looks at his hand and sees a bloody lab coat. And he screams, brother! He says, what have I done? And stench with power, he killed his own brother. But then he hears Alex laughing again, saying, I can't believe you killed your brother, you're an idiot. Like, seriously, did you sacrifice so much of your brain for your muscles? And he says, it's all his fault, and how dare you laugh? And he will kill him. As he reaches for Alex, a hole was made in his palm, and he sees Alex Mercer with wings, but he's pissed. The giant says, you'll pay for that. I'll kill you. He then tries to punch Alex. As he tries to, Alex transforms his hand and punches the giant fist. Ends up blowing up the skin of the giant's hand and knock back the giant a little bit. Then turns his hand into a whip and flies around the giant's hand and wraps it around his hand. On his other hand, I mean, not the one he blew the skin off, I mean the normal one. And then he lands on his shoulder and tries pulling so hard, the whip cuts the hand into pieces. But he does this. He gets grabbed by his giant skeleton hand, the one he already broke, and thrown to the ground. So the master throws him. He jumps and I says, behold my brotherly power. So he finishes smashing and punching. He says, what have I done? I killed my brother, because I'm the strongest man. But he hears, that's kind of sad considering you're not even the strongest. Or not even close to being the strongest. Then sees some sort of weird pod where he smashing and disappears to reveal Alex. He's like, what? He then sees Alex jumped up out of the rubble and sees his hand turn purple. He then says, hope back this vaccine guy was strong enough to give it to you. He then punches the giant and blows him off and kills him. Alex lands. He goes to a nearby finger he chopped off in a sword blade. He says, well, this bone armor can be useful, but giant isn't not that good. What he doesn't know, during his fight, King was watching. He thinks to himself, why is that monster always saving me? But he's walking home, himself. It's been 3 years. He has still yet to figure out who he is. The guy in the lab car knew him, but thanks to his stupid brother, he wasn't able to figure it out and absorb him. But he's walking, here's Wamaji. But as he walks, he sees some sort of car monster. But the monster can't even talk, it gets chopped in half and absorbed. But at least he thinks to himself, he kills so many monsters, and people, yet he doesn't feel anything. And he actually kind of enjoys it. He wonders, he was a bee. He then thinks to himself, then here's what ranking he would be if he became a villain. He thinks to himself, I'll be probably a high dragon or low level god. And smirks. He walks into his house, goes to sleep. He has a dream. He looks around, he sees fire and death. But as he turns around, he sees himself leading some sort of army of monsters. By the time he hears a girl saying, we are the subterraneans. And he wakes up. And the true blinks. But the moment the subterranean king gets his head off clean, disrupted, makes the others scream in, saying, monster! He's running on the ground, leaving the white flag. And he responds with, you're a major letdown. But he starts walking. He doesn't know he's being watched by a drone. But the other side of the drone, there's people watching him, a group of people watching him. He screamed with some sort of robot. That's when people ask, what the hell is that? Middle Knight says that was a godable threat. And the solution says, I could have thought like this going noticed. That's when Middle Knight says, they think he kills makes him stronger and smarter. He might be the strongest and smartest thing on earth. The another person says, but he's killing other monsters. Another person saying, but why? And Middle Knight says he's demented. Something asks, what makes him think that? The Middle Knight says, he knew him before he was a monster. And his name is Alex Mercer, and the creator of the missing mercer virus. And somebody says, there's a danger about this virus. And he says that this virus could turn people into monsters. And it was thought to be missing after the death of the creator. But it seems that the creator lived, and then it shows Alex Mercer walking away from a large group of monsters' bodies. But what Alex doesn't know, A couple of days later, there's a blonde cyborg scanning the area. He then says target acquired before jumping away. As he jumps away, we cut to a dressing room. It shows a man with blue hair. But the man says that it better be important. He says, it is Sweet Mask. He says, the Dread Knight and Mirror Knight have found a gullible threat. This makes Sweet Mask stop and say, what? Man then says, the monster becomes everything it kills. And might have 100 monster kills under his belt. But Sweet Mask says, it kills monsters? The man saying, it seems to be trying to get stronger by killing monsters and absorbing it. And Sweet Mask says, keep an eye on him. And tells him, when he starts attacking civilians, tell him. And guys, I'm going to end the video here. But before I leave, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check out my Discord and other channel description below, or in the description. And peace out, so you can defeat all your enemies in one punch. I can't say it right. One punch. Later.